Hello, welcome to Caesar Snack Sandwich. It's been a little while since I did a video. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this DeFi Kingdoms. This is something that kind of came across my desk. It's a little bit of an older project. As far as I know, all of the tokens are fully emitted. All the rewards that were like inflation tokens have all been inflated, and the entire supply is out in circulation now. So there's no alpha. It's not really an alpha video. So, but I did come across this, and I do find it to be very interesting. And obviously, as you can see on my screen here, I am actually playing this game and kind of testing it out and having fun with it and so forth. It's called DeFi Kingdoms, and it is actually very DeFi. There's a lot of DeFi concepts in here. Obviously, not all of them. Like, there's no CDPs, there's no lending and borrowing and stuff like that. But it's basically souped up, cool DEX. Okay, a place where you can swap tokens. But there's not a whole lot of liquidity pools. It's mostly just the tokens for the game. But it is built on top of like Uniswap version 2 DEX, and there are gauges. There are all kinds of cool stuff. Now, I'm not going to be able to go through everything here. I would recommend you to read the docs. And even if you just don't really want to, and you just want to kind of play around and click on stuff, there's a lot of like little buttons you can click, and then it'll kind of describe what you're going to do there. And if you have some, experience with DeFi, then you'll catch on quite quickly. Okay. But I am going to jump around and kind of show you a few of these little locations in this DApp, we'll call it. Okay, and then over here we have some hotkeys to some special things like NFTs and stuff that you can hold. Okay. Now, before I go into them, I will mention that this is on two chains right now. There's a Crystal Veil, which is on this DFK chain, which is like a subnet of AVAX. So if you wanted to bridge here like anonymously, if you wanted to, remain undoxed, then you would have to go to AVAX and then use Synapses to go from AVAX into this DFK chain. And then there's this Serendale, which is it was on Harmony, but Harmony's gone, and now it's on another chain, and I'm not using that one, so I don't know. If you want to check out where that is, you can dig a little bit deeper and check it out. So let's kind of go through. When you first open it up and you first sign up, it's going to have you kind of test the combat. So you can come here, you can kind of play the combat. I'm not going to load it because it takes a little bit to load, and then I got to close it. But it's basically like you have three heroes, and you're fighting three monsters, and you've got like three kinds of heroes, like a warrior, a cleric, and a hunter, or something like this, a ranger, and an archer, and you have to kind of you know think about which one you're going to kill and react to them. It's kind of like Final Fantasy in that sense, but obviously not nearly as deep and complex as the combat in Final Fantasy. However, what this thing does is it actually allows you to do things to earn real tokens. So tokens that are actually worth money and so forth. So this DFK chain is run on this token called the Jewel. So this Jewel token was like originally a token on Harmony, but now it's the actual token of this like subnet. Okay. So whenever you're paying gas, whenever you have to send a transaction, you're going to have to pay this Jewel token. Now, this Jewel token is also the like right side token of a lot of liquidity pools when you want to buy things from liquidity. Okay, so there's quite a few things in here. So let's kind of go to the marketplace first, and let's talk about this trader. So the trader is probably the first thing you're going to want to do. As you can see, I've got some Jewel, and if I want to buy some other tokens, there's some standard tokens like Bitcoin and ETH and Phantom. If I wanted to trade for those, I could in here. But as you can see, there's all these other little things like so health potions and scraggy cat mushrooms and all kinds of stuff like that. Now, so I can go to the trader here and I can trade. Most of the time, it's best to use the trader. So I've told Ben it is to use this Bazaar. This Bazaar is I don't know exactly how it works, but it's not like a liquidity pool. Okay, it is a little bit different. It's more like a like an auction style order book thing. Okay, so anyways, so the trader is usually the best place to get this, and then there's a vendor as well, which is kind of maybe just the game itself selling. But anyhow, so there's this trader here where it allows you to do it, and then there's all these other little things where you can make pets, you can do some of these little quests to level up some of your heroes. I'll talk about the heroes in a second. Okay, so leaving the trader, And let's go back to the world map and go to the gardens. Now in the gardens here, we have this seed box and harvest, okay? The seed box is basically where you can create liquidity pools yourself and stick them in the gauge, and harvest is where you will like harvest your rewards from the gauges that you're farming. So if I click on the druid, it kind of can show me what kind of liquidity pools I created. I created a jewel crystal liquidity pool. I put it in the garden and I'm farming, as you saw, some crystal, right? And now crystal is the token of Crystal Vale. Sarandale has jade as their token. So this is a specific token used for the economy within Crystal Vale only, okay? And I'll kind of show you a little bit more later about this, okay? So this is one concept that's obviously DeFi, right? You can provide liquidity, you can get some APR. The APR is not like outstanding. Like let's take a look at like the one I'm doing. Crystal, where is it? Crystal Jewel. Come on, where is it? Right down here. So APR is, what is this pool allocation? 10%, your stake token. This is my percentage. I don't know. So it doesn't actually even show me the APR here. But anyhow, I'm not really doing it for APR. I'm doing it because I want some more crystal, right? Because I want to use the crystal to buy some more NFTs, okay? So anyhow, let's keep going and show you some more DeFi aspects of this. So if we go to world and we go over to the jeweler here. So we've got this jeweler here, and this is where you can take jewel tokens, those gas tokens, and you can lock them for voting. So this is like VE tokens, okay? Like you lock them, the longer you lock, the better amount of these C jewel tokens you get. And I think on Sarandale they're called S jewel, but so like yeah, so you lock them up, you get more of these jewel C jewel tokens based on how long you lock, and then what it does is a lot of the fees that are generated, a lot of the fees that are like collected by the protocol are, there's a good portion of them burnt. Again, you got to go to the docs for the full list. A good portion of them are burnt, and a good portion of them are given to these C jewel holders. And then the C jewel holders also allow you to like power up your skills a little bit. Like if I go to power ups and manage power ups, I can kind of use CJewel to kind of get these kind of benefits. Okay, so one of them is like more EXP. The other is like stamina refreshing or rejuvenal or replenishing quicker. And then this one's like backstage pass where you can do some like practice combat. And as you can see, you need 50 C joules, and I have 2.7 C joules because I'm just kind of testing this out and kind of deciding whether or not I want to actually go in a little bit deeper. Now, 50 C joules is not too bad if you lock it for quite a long time. I think I locked for like one month, and I put 100 and locked for a month, and I got 2, right? So, you might want to lock for longer, and then you can get that 50 a little bit easier, and then consider it like kind of forgotten. So these are the power-ups based on these this VE jewel or a C jewel, right? And here's a couple more quests and stuff like this. And this is for like transferring your C jewel to other wallets and stuff like that. So as you can see, as when you're clicking on things, they kind of give you a nice little description, and you can kind of figure out based on that. You can click on this and go to the docs. I don't want to do it because it'll load it. There's an on-ramp, so you can kind of use like actual fiat currency, like kind of things to buy some jewel and get into this game if you don't want to go through the anonymous way. The exchanges, if you wanted to use CoinStore, you can come in this way as well. And the Dockmaster allows you to like bridge some of your tokens from Crystal to Sarandale. So like burn on Crystal Dale and mint on Sarandale, sort of thing. Okay. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of actual DeFi in here, but there is some NFTs as well. So if we go to heroes, you can see I've bought in quite a good substantial amount of heroes. The reason why I'm doing this is because the heroes have different kind of purposes, or different. You have to use them for different things. As right now, as you can see, my stamina is all full, so I will actually send some transactions to put these things back to work and so forth. But if you flip over the card, you can see he's got like normal, like, Dungeons and Dragons or role-playing game type stats, and then some proficiencies, and he's good at mining. So this person here, I tend to use them for mining, okay? Whereas this person here, I tend to use them for foraging. And foraging is a way, and mining is a way, like they're like quests that you send them on. I'm not going to use these guys to fight. I'm just going to use them purely for foraging, right? And they're pretty cheap right now, so it's not too bad. So if you're going to use foraging, then you're going to be able to like collect, you know, items like this. Fishing will get you fish. Foraging will get you like little plants and stuff like this, and there's a little bit of luck in there where you can get some rare like kind of gems and stuff like that. Again, there's a lot here, so I'm not going to go through everything. Your heroes, when you want to upgrade them, level them up when they get enough experience. If you look through some here, my experience is getting up on some of them, and they're getting kind of close. She's the closest to leveling up. So when she wants to level up, I'll send her to that meditation circle and level her up. Okay. Now, so we've got quests. You can kind of find the quests all over the place. You can kind of jump around in the map, right? So if we go to the gardens, no, not in the gardens. Let's go to um, the alchemist, right? Yeah, no, not the alchemist. The alchemist is where you make some potions. Where's it? Maybe the docks. Yeah, yeah. So here's one. Tug of war. I could do this quest of tug of war, and it would increase my character's strength if I get successful, like slowly gain some experience to kind of increase his strength and so forth. Okay. Anyhow, so moving on. So I'm going to go do some quests. There's also all these hotkeys where you can kind of jump to the different locations, or if you want something more specific, you can do these specific things here. The tavern is where this guy here, this agent here, is where you would buy the heroes, and you would, use some crystal to buy these heroes. And like I said, like 19 crystal for this hero. You'd want to shop around. There's a lot of heroes in here, and you want, like I said, you want to buy heroes for specific purposes. So I'd look over, this person's good at fishing, sort of. The luck is a little bit low, so maybe I don't want it. This one here, she's good at forging. Luck is 7. So you kind of have to kind of learn a little bit, dig deeper, and learn how these things kind of like affect the gameplay and so forth. Okay. So back to these quests. So I do have some active quests here. So all of these quests are currently running. So I'm going to just select them all, and I'm going to complete them. And as you can see, I'm getting all of these little items because I've got so many heroes doing different things and, farming different kinds of items and stuff like that. I'm getting a little bit of jewel that will help me, repay some of my gas, but not enough yet. I'm still trying to figure out how to actually get enough jewels so that it becomes self-sustaining, but I'll keep digging deeper on that. Okay, so go through that. It takes a few minutes, of course, and then I get all of my items. I'm told, I get some items, and then all my heroes kind of go into this queue, like because I selected the queue, and it kind of makes it a little bit easier because then I know in 4 hours I can send all these heroes to do this fishing quest again, right? Now there are stamina vials. I can buy stamina potions at the trader, and then I can do it faster, or like the one power up where I can boost my stamina recovery. So I'm kind of just basically now have to wait for them to refresh their stamina, then I can do it again. Now this game is in active development, so there are some things like you can't smith weapons and stuff like that quite yet, but it's like something that will come in the future. So it's kind of like this game has been around for quite a long time, and it's growing as demand is still there. People are still playing, and all the fees that are generated. Like I said, some are burned, some are sent to those VC jewel holders, and then some portion is also sent to the team to pay for development costs and stuff like that. There are pets. You can take a pet, and I don't know why it's loading so slow. You can take a pet and you can assign it to a character, and the pet kind of this pet here will boost, increase the chances of catching rare fish. Okay, so I've given this pet to this guy who is good at fishing, and give him a better chance to get more rare fish, right? And then you can obviously, if you want to, you can try to like sell some of your items for jewel, and maybe that's the best way to pay for your own gameplay and so forth. I think that's about it. Let me take one quick more look at this and see if there's anything else that I really want to mention. Oh yes, of course, the tavern. There are the hunts here, and these are actual like games that you can combat. You can fight the mother pig and her two baby pigs, and you can win some loot by playing that as well. Maybe I should. I've done this before, so I'm wondering why it's asking me to sign up again. Maybe there was some sort of update. Yeah, so I could play these quests. It's pretty hard, but like I would choose the heroes. My heroes don't have all it says they're full right now, but they don't. It's not actually full because they're still considered on a quest. I think it'll load if I refresh it, then it'll kind of get rid of the status that they're not on a quest or they have stamina left over. So moving back, so you add some heroes, you choose the skills they want to have, and you put them in these different positions, front, back. You put the tank in the front, the fight, the air, the the glass cannon in the back, and the healer in the middle, or whatever your party happens to be, and then you can kind of fight those pigs and try to win some of the rewards from winning those games. So I think this is pretty interesting. Like I said, it's an actual real game. Um, it's an actual playable real game that's live right now. It's definitely using blockchain. As you saw, I did pay some gas. I sent a transaction. Is like true NFTs decks on the blockchain using the game. I'm not so sure. I'm not too sure about how secure this DF chain is and how good a AVAX subnet is. But like I didn't put tens of thousands of dollars in here. I put maybe a couple $100 in here to play this game and buy a bunch of heroes and kind of mess around and create some liquidity pools and stuff like that. So I hope this has been interesting and useful. I really like this design. I think it's a pretty cool and clever idea. I do wish though that like the trading aspect of it, like this actual trader. If I wanted to use the jewel to buy something like Phantom, uh, I'm hoping that the liquidity of this is deep enough to create trades, and it would be nice to see that, like, if people were coming here to actually do this sort of trade, as opposed to just use this trader to play the game like I am. Okay, so I'm wondering about that. Obviously, there's no perps in here or anything like that, so that might be something they build in the future. Who knows, right? I don't know, right? But I think this is pretty cool and interesting. Come and check it out and. Thank you so much for watching and goodbye.